I would like to help you graph a piecewise function like this. This is three different functions pieced together by these specific intervals, and you will see how this all comes to play. So I'm going to graph the function 2 on the interval x less than -1. So to graph the function 2, well, the function of 2 has a slope of 0. It is a flat line at y equals 2, and it will stop at -1 right there. Let me describe that. Again, a flat line of 2 for values less than -1. Do you see how this is -1 of x, and it's a flat line graph 2. So that is the first initial graph, the first function. All right, and the reason for the open circle is because you said less than -1, not less than or equal to. So next we're going to graph this function, 3x minus 2, for the interval -1 to 2. All right, there are different ways of doing this, but what I'm going to focus on for this one, because this is an interval -1 to 2, I'm going to plug in -1 and 2 to this function and do it that way. All right, so we're going to take -1, okay, we're going to find -1 something. So how we do that, we're going to play 3 times -1 minus 2. And what we get there is that would be -3 minus 2, which is -5. So that would be -1, -5. And it is a closed circle because it's or equal to. So I'm going to put a closed circle at -1, -5. All right, so -1, -5 will have a closed circle. All right, next I'm going to plug in 2, because I'm going to do the second side of the interval to the same function. So I'm going to plug in 2. That's going to be 2 comma something. Let's see what we get. That's 3 times 2 minus 2, which would be 6 minus 2, which is 4. So 2, 4. So I'm going to have the dot 2, 4, and this one's going to be an open circle. Now you might be like, why is it an open circle? Because right here it says x is less than 2, left of 2, not less than or equal to 2. So this is an open circle, and the left side is a closed circle. And we're going to connect those dots with a red line here. And that right there would be that function right there, the middle function from -1 to 2. All right, next we are going to graph this function right here on the interval right of 3, including 3. So it's going to be a closed circle at 3. So there are different ways of doing that. All right, and what I'm going to do in this situation, I'm going to simply plug in 3 to this function to find the edge. I think that would be a little bit easier. So I'm going to take and find 3 comma something. I'm going to do that by plugging 3 into the last function. And let's see what we get here. That would be -6 plus 7, which is 1. So that would be 3, 1. So make a coordinate 3, 1. And we said that's a closed circle. So that's going to be the edge. Now the next thing you can do is you can plug in another number right of 3, say 4. You could plug 4 in this function to graph that way, but I think it's easier to look at the slope. Hopefully you can see your slope is -2. M equals -2. So what that means is we're going to go right 1 and down 2. You can keep doing that. You go right 1 and down 2, and you can keep getting a whole bunch of dots. All right, and then we're going to make a line through those dots, and we have that last graph done. Our last graph right here is complete. So this would be the piecewise function right here.